Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to take a look at some statistics about the COVID-19 situation here in the United States. So let me go ahead and get started. Here you see that I'm looking at the Center for Disease Control website. Here is the URL if you would like to uh, keep up with this situation in the future. That's the URL right there. You can also find that on Google pretty easy. Search COVID-19 US cases CDC. It should be one of the top results. This website, this particular web page, is updated daily with the statistics that were gathered from the prior day. So you see that right here it shows that the page is updated at noon with numbers from 4 p.m. the day before the reporting. So today, afternoon, they reported the numbers as of 4 p.m. from yesterday, March 26th. As of 4 p.m. yesterday, March 26th, the total U.S. cases were 85,356 reported. Obviously, probably a much larger number that have still gone unreported, unfortunately. There's a lot of different ways that the CDC breaks this information down, but the two charts that I'm interested in today are this chart right here. This is the cumulative total number of COVID-19 cases by day. So obviously we're still in exponential climb here, not looking good, unfortunately. But this particular chart doesn't really provide much of an indication whatsoever about is the growth. It's kind of hard to see, is the growth slowing? What is the exact situation? So they provide another chart, and you see here this is the same number as presented above. So this is the total number of reported cases as of yesterday. I'm going to scroll down and show you a different chart. This is the number of COVID-19 cases in the United States, but this is the important part, by date of illness onset. So what this means is, say someone reported that they were sick today. Well, they may have become ill on March 16th. If that's the case, then this bar, their case, would grow this bar by one case, even though it was reported today. So any of these bars could grow on any subsequent day if the date of illness onset was prior. And I'll show you this. The illness, this little bracket here shows illnesses that began during this time may not yet be reported. So basically what the CDC is trying to indicate here is that these bars are expected to grow. Even though it looks like it's tailing off, these bars can be expected to grow because any cases that are reported today might add to any of these bars. So I found this to be very interesting, and particularly I was interested in how these numbers might have been changing over time. Unfortunately, the CDC only updates this daily, and you see here are the here's the data that they're this is the actual data that is being represented in this chart. So for January 12th there were 0 cases, and then on January 14th we had our first 2 cases. But this doesn't give you any indication when these cases were reported. So we would presume that this 114 date of onset was at maybe like January 21st or something, but unfortunately we just do not know when those cases were reported. So I decided that I was going to at least, I only started this a couple days ago, or three days ago, but I decided that I was going to start actually keeping track of this data. So I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so what you can see here, this is where I have recorded the data in Excel. This is where I've actually copied and pasted the data directly from the CDC website into my Excel spreadsheet. And down here is where I've actually subtracted each day's prior results so that we know exactly how much is being added to each bar on each day. So let's take a look and see what that data looks like. Okay, here's that chart. Okay, so similarly to what we were seeing on the website, you can see this is basically the same chart. The only difference is that I've separated out each day's additions based on color. So it goes from white on March 23rd to bright blue on March 26th, and each day in between is just a gradient leading up towards that bright blue. The things to note, obviously, there are tons of new cases being added. For instance, you see in this bar right here, only 3 days ago, it looks like it might have quadrupled in size over the last 3 days. So while if 3 days ago, if you were to go on the CDC website, you would see this, where this is white, that's the chart you would have seen 3 days ago. It looks like a bad chart, but then you don't realize the next day when you look at it, because you have no comparison where it was the day before, that this growth is just really astounding. The next thing I would note, on the CDC website, which I'll remind you, it showed for 3/16 going forward that cases from 3/16 going forward may not yet be reported. You can see this latest blue, there are plenty of cases that are well before 3/16 that are still being reported. So many cases that had date of onset far before 3/16 are still being reported today. Finally, I'll show you, I think it's helpful to look at this on a logarithmic scale because it helps you understand the rate of change and if it's increasing or decreasing. So, all right. The way that you can interpret the logarithmic scale is each of these bars is a doubling, okay? So if this is a straight line, that means it's an exponential growth. And as you can see, from 213 all the way up to right about 315, so a little more than a month, it's been doubling practically, it's looking like every 4 to 5 days. So really, really, really fast exponential growth here. Really not looking good at all. But the key things that I'm curious about that I don't understand are, why is the CDC telling us that that cases 3/16 and forward are likely to not be reported, when in reality, let's go back to the logarithmic scale, it's a little bit easier to see. Just today, there was a case reported that has a date of onset January 30th. So why is it that the CDC is telling us that cases from here forward are likely not to be reported, when in reality there are cases really far back that are still being reported today? And then I will go back to the CDC website to show you some other details. I'll call your attention to some important statistics you should keep in mind about this video. Please recall that the total number of cases in the United States as of yesterday reported were 85,356. However, the chart of interest to us in this video, that number in this chart is only 17,849. Now, if we notice this asterisk right here, we can look at the reason for this. Does not include cases among persons repatriated to the United States from Wuhan, China, and Japan, which, if we look at this chart, actually, that chart also does not include those cases. However, in this chart, it also does not include U.S. identified cases where the date of illness onset or specimen collection date has not yet been reported. Okay, so right now, of the 85,000 cases that were reported yesterday, only 17,849 have reported a date of illness onset. Okay, so this is basically just a fairly large sample of the 85,000 population of reported cases. I do plan on updating this information going forward every day until it is not of interest anymore. I would very much be interested in collecting the data prior to when I began collecting this on March 23rd. So if anyone has any idea where I can find the information going back to early January, I would certainly appreciate if you let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for your attention, and if you're interested in what you saw today, subscribe and I will be putting up more content in the future. Thanks, have a great day, and stay safe. Bye.